Have a good night, sweetie. We'll be back after midnight, my mom said. Don't forget, we left extra candy in the basement in case you run out. I know, you told me like 6 times. Just go, have fun, I'll be fine. They gave me one last worried look. As a 15-year-old, I had only been left home alone on rare occasions. My dad was giving me a distrustful sideways glance as if he didn't believe in my ability to remember basic instructions. Reluctantly, they began to descend the front steps and walk towards the car, wearing their couple's grease costumes. They were going to a Halloween party, which made what my dad said next slightly ironic. Okay, we're going. Remember, no parties, no girls, no drinking or drugs. Do lots of drugs, have unprotected sex, invite people over, get drunk. Got it, thanks. I shut the door behind them and was left alone. Mercifully, finally, peacefully alone. If you've ever been 15 years old, maybe you'll remember that wonderful feeling when your parents finally go out for the night and leave you alone to your own devices. It's magical. The sun had recently set and it was dark outside on the moonless night. Trick-or-treaters would be out soon, coming to the door in droves. It was my first night handing out candy, and I made sure to turn the porch light on so kids knew it was all right to come to the door. It was kind of exciting to be on this side of things for a change. I could eat as much candy as I wanted all night long while watching scary movies and playing video games. I had several horror flicks on my Netflix playlist ready to go. I tried to decide what to watch first, The Babysitter, Scary Movie, or The Ring. The night was still young, and I decided I didn't feel like committing to a movie just yet. So I sat down on my dad's comfortable faux leather recliner with a bowl of Halloween candy in my lap and pulled out my phone. I figured I'd watch new TikToks, then pick up a movie after that. I opened the app with one finger while nimbly unwrapping a Reese's cup with my remaining digits. The video which popped up on my feed was dark, difficult to make out. It looked like the person recording it was in a forest. Then I saw concrete stairs and the familiar-looking wooden boards of a deck or a porch. I almost scrolled past it. But then I noticed the deck looking familiar. As did the front door in the video. Ding dong, ding dong! I paused the clip. The Reese's cup remained uneaten in my hand. I put it up to my lips to take a bite, thinking the kids outside would wait a minute. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. I got up from my chair. A piece of candy still whole and stalked angrily to the door. Damn kids couldn't just wait a minute. They'll break the doorbell if they keep attacking it like that. Swinging the door open, ready to yell at the brats, I looked down to see there was absolutely nobody there. Glancing around, I saw there was no trick-or-treaters anywhere nearby. No other houses were decorated either, I noticed for the first time. Mine was the only one. It was pitch black outside. The porch light had apparently burnt out within the last few minutes, since it had been working when I saw my parents off for the night. I closed the door and I walked back to the recliner. My heartbeat now ticking just a little faster in my chest. Sitting down, I felt like I couldn't relax. My muscles were tense and stiff. A floorboard creaked above me from the second floor and I jumped and told myself that I was being foolish. It was probably just kids outside playing tricks. I leaned back in the recliner and I tried to breathe. We had moved into that house that summer and it still felt strange and new to me. I had to get used to its quirks. The wheezing, moaning noises it made in the dead of night, sounding ghostly and possessed. The whistling eaves and rattling shutters which sealed off the attic, sounding like bones shaking in the wind sometimes, or like muffled screams. Holding my phone in my hand again, I unpaused the TikTok I'd been watching. It had been close to the end of the video. The camera panned upwards and I saw the person raising a black-gloved finger up to press a doorbell. Ding dong! Ding dong! The familiar sound rang out through my cell phone speaker. In the video, nobody came to the door. They began to press the bell again and again and again, faster and faster and faster. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. It was too similar for me not to notice the coincidence. It sounded like what had just happened at my own front door just moments before, although it was possible I was mistaken. Looking down at the bottom left corner of the screen, I saw it was a user who was unknown to me. The title of the video was Halloween Takeover. It had just been posted a couple minutes before. Another creaking noise could be heard above me from the second floor, this time sounding more distinctly like footsteps bending the squeaky wooden floorboards. My heart began to pound faster and harder. I could feel it in my jugular and in my temple. My throat and mouth were dry. I felt anxious and panicked, more and more with each passing second. With a trembling finger, I scrolled up on my TikTok feed, getting rid of the video and moving on to something else, anything else. It's just been a coincidence, nothing more. I refused to acknowledge the possibility of it being something more sinister. That was next to impossible, right? The following video was a live feed, I noticed. Had the previous one been one as well? I wasn't sure. It seemed highly possible it could have been, and I just hadn't noticed. As it played, I noticed the familiar look of the person recording, looking at their black-shoed feet in the shadowy grass. Then suddenly they were standing on the stone tile porch at someone's back door. Someone else's house, I hoped, holding my breath. But those stone tiles looked very familiar, just like the wooden deck in the previous video had. This time there was no doorbell, so they knocked with a heavy fist. Bang, 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 bang. Jumping up from my seat, I heard the sound coming out of the back door for a few moments before I heard it on the app, as if there was a slight delay as it traveled through the cellular network. There was no doubting it, they were at my back door. The same person who was recording the TikTok was outside my house. Feeling suddenly full of righteous indignation, I ran to the back door to give the asshole a piece of my mind. It was probably some punk kid from my school trying to mess with me. I was pissed off they had gotten me so good. Swinging open the back door with a stinging retort ready on my lips, I looked outside into the night and saw... Once again, there was nobody there. I stepped out of my bare feet, walking onto the grass and looking around for the person responsible. The door hung open behind me and I paid no attention to it as I yelled out into the night. Hey! Hey, I know what you're doing! You don't scare me, asshole! Alright, come and get me! The last statement was one that I would come to regret. Going back inside, I closed the door and locked it behind me. From where I stood, the stairs to the basement were just to the right, the stairs to the main floor straight ahead. The darkness down to my right teased me with its unknown horrors and the possibilities of what lurked within it, drenched in blackness as it was. But I ignored it and went up to the main floor, shuddering and closing the basement door behind me as quickly as I possibly could, feeling as if something would grab my ankle with a cold hand if I lingered for too long. There was a flimsy steel chain lock on the door, separating the main floor from the rear exit and from the cold dampness of the basement. We never used it, but this time I slotted it into position with my hands shaking badly. At least it would offer a modicum of security, but from what? That I still didn't know. It was beginning to occur to me that it wasn't necessarily a kid from my class doing this. Could be anyone, could be a murderer. My knees buckled slightly as that thought crossed my mind. I went back to the living room and took a deep breath before sitting down in the recliner. Holding the phone in my hands, I debated calling my parents. I thought about how it would sound if I did. Hi, Mom. I was on TikTok. I saw a scary video. They rang the doorbell in the video, and then our doorbell rang a second later. And there was nobody there, and then somebody knocked at the back door, and there was nobody there, and... I sounded delusional. Paranoid. They'd come home, and she would say to my dad, I guess you were right. He really isn't ready to be home alone by himself, maybe next year. There's no way I was going to let that happen. Whoever it was, I could handle him. Getting up, I went down the hall to my room to grab my baseball bat. And as soon as I got there, I had it in my hands, and the lights went out. The entire house was suddenly completely dark. Eerily quiet. Lacking all machine noise, and of course, I had left my cell phone in the living room. With the bat in my hand, I started to feel my way along the wall, finding the doorway and going out of the room into the hallway. The entire house was quiet, dark, and empty as far as I could tell, but then... why did I keep hearing the soft squeak of footsteps above me, coming from the second floor? That decided it for me. I was going to call the police as soon as I got back to my phone. Slowly moving through the blackened space, I felt for the edges of the walls until I was in the kitchen, then moved past the locked basement door, feeling a sense of disquiet as I did so, as if there was someone just on the other side. When I was right up against the basement door, I heard the sound of the knob turning, and goosebumps ran up my spine and covered my entire body. They were inside the house. The flimsy chain would only hold back just the barest effort, judging by the looks of it. I didn't have much time. Whoever was on the other side of that door was not a kid from my school. I had a very strong feeling about that. They sounded angry and insistent as they turned the knob back and forth and began to hammer and bang on the door. It rattled and shook in its frame. Running as fast as I could, no longer caring if I hurt myself at this point, I ducked out of the kitchen and over my seat to where I left my phone. My intention was to grab it and call 911, but I didn't even get the chance. A loud crash echoed through my house, and I heard the sound of footsteps on the second floor. Clearly now running towards the stairs that led to the ground floor. There was more than one of them in the house. My phone was blinking from where it lay on the recliner's armrest. I ran over to it in the pitch-black darkness, bashing my shins against the leg of a dining chair on the way. I finally reached it and unlocked it, just as I heard the basement door creak open with a loud bang. The only thing I could think to do at that moment was to turn on the flashlight. I needed to see what the hell I was dealing with. Luckily, I got it on quickly using a shortcut from the home screen, and it turned on, casting the room in a harsh white light. Walking over to the broken door, I saw there was nobody behind it. No culprit who could have caused the damage. My phone dinged, and I looked at the screen to see that I'd received a text message from someone. A link to a TikTok. "Sorry about your door," a voice was saying in the video. It sounded ghostly. "Do you have any more candy?" Bag in the basement was mostly Tootsie Rolls and licorice. I hate licorice. My parents opened the door and found me shaking in the recliner. All the lights turned off, staring at my phone, watching that same video over and over. It was our basement, our candy stash. "Really? You sat here all night with the lights off, eating candy and watching TikTok on your phone?" my mom asked incredulously. "We're gonna have to talk about cutting back on your phone time. I would have thought you would at least give out candy to kids, maybe watch a scary movie, something." My dad sounded a bit upset, but I was barely registering what he was saying. My mom was going down to the basement, I realized with a start. Mom, don't go down there," I yelled. But it was too late. "Yep, ate all the candy down here too. You were in so much trouble, mister. I thought you didn't even like Tootsie Rolls." And that was the night that I learned that ghosts are real. And that once a year on Halloween, they return to their earthly homes, to the places where they spent their fondest days. Our family had purchased that house from a couple who was downsizing after their kids passed away in a freak accident on a school trip. The son apparently loved TikTok. He loved playing pranks on people. And also, he really loved candy. Just not licorice, I guess. The daughter usually played upstairs in her room, was quiet, didn't cause any trouble. Greg and Alice, that was their names. Found out from my parents, who had found out from the neighbors. They found out some other details too, other past owners of the house, some more controversial than others. It's not Greg and Alice who keep me up at night on Halloween, terrified to sleep. It's the other one. The one Greg told me about. "He's up in the attic. That's why it was boarded up," he whispered to me in the darkness after my parents had gone to sleep. I didn't find out how scary he was until I crossed the veil. I can see him up there, waiting. Just don't ever unlock those doors or open those blinds. All he needs is a little breathing room, and he'll be out of there next Halloween. And you do not want to run into him. There's a reason he was locked up there to begin with. Halloween will be here again soon. It's just a couple of weeks. And my dad just decided to start renovations on the attic. The shutters are off for the first time in decades. The doors hanging wide open. He did it while I was at school. "We gotta let it air out," my dad told me with an unrecognizable grin, looking very much unlike himself. "We gotta let it breathe." Hey guys, I just want to make sure that all of you take a look in the description down below for multiple different reasons. The main reason I'm talking about right now, though, is to look at the author's links. Every time that I do a story on one of these platforms, I post links from the authors. Some of them are books that the authors put out. If you like the stories that you hear, then I highly, highly encourage you to go scroll down, take a look in the description, click one of those links. If you like that author, I guarantee you they have something else that you're going to like. And if they have a book out there, you're going to love that book. I mean, hell, that's how Tales from the Gas Station became what it is, okay? If you guys heard it on YouTube, then hey, there are more, bigger, better versions of it out there that you can get on Amazon or Audible or No Sleep or what have you. So for reals, scroll down, check out the links. And that's not like an advertisement thing. I'm just like, look, this is for your benefit. Check it out. And as always, I want to give a very big thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. Thank you so much. A very big thank you to Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Stephanie Butler, Reaper61167, Bobby Karman, Tristain, Pelton, Chance Burnett, Diana Kraus, Thiccy McQuicky, SamaHigh, CrusaderChocobo, SpookyShel, Atomaurus, Grand Moth the Milky, Big Smoke 369, Captain Scurvy, SaltyIrishPoet, Estebean, Brayden Morris, Nate Kuhl, HorrorFan1212, Hour Minute Second Time, Kyle Reznak, David Martin, Scare-ington the Unkempt, Robert Malcolm, Angelus, Spanky, Snoochie Boochie, Seclude, Lupita Galvin, That Creepy Chick, Tyler Fletcher, Merxenum, Red Shadow Cat, Xavier the Cheyenne, Demix, Sean Cadieu-baker, 6 Gay Rats in a Trenchcoat, Turtleman, Rob Like Sharp Things, Cryolinian, Xavier Graphius, Lord Life's Best, Goring Tremagacy, Maria Walker, Emily Mitchell, Crazy Kid, Mr. Marcus Blitz, Eka Limchok, Dirt Diver 030, Matt Bach, Voice of Sand, Coffee Zombie, Hidden Tiger, Shelly J, Jeremy H, Psychomel, Nana, Deleted Account, Melted Lake, Tali Sue, William King, Darth Miver, Michael Ortiz, Satanic Aries, Bardo Hawk 764, Lambda M98, Harley, Sashi Suzaku, Cronut 509, Kaylee Ambrose, Suji Campbell, Stricken, Freddy Krueger, Happy Birthday Jason Wilson, Lisa Cottrell, Caspian, Hades Nephew, Tater Chip, Acid System, Prozac and Pancake Appreciation Society, Benjamin Welverick, Cryptic Nightmares, Kiri the Sloth, Fester's Lampshade, Sky Harbor, Nico Kyle, Rafael Rodriguez, The Ginger Bros, Aaron Stormcrow, Daniel Polson, and Corey Kenshin. As always, thank you guys so much, because you guys help me do everything that I do here. You guys help pay authors for stories and commission stories and do everything that I can do to make this channel and make this podcast the best it could possibly be. So thank you all for supporting me here. And as always, everyone, sweet dreams.